Hello, everybody. Welcome to my ground report. I'm Jesse Gillen-Walters. You may have heard of me, you may have seen me around, and I'm here to bring you a delightful little lesson that I have been working on for a bit now. We're going to be talking about using Squarespace to do more conversion-focused sales funnel, checkout funnel-esque builds. They're really simple. They're not unlike ClickFunnels and other stuff like that. You can really get this page by page kind of sequential experience while checking out, or while your fans check out, using these kind of alternatives, I guess you could say. First thing I want to do here, though, is just make sure I am live. I'm looking good, I think. I'll admit it, I'm a little shiny, but I'm Italian. I always got this nice, it's almost like I got that olive oil all the time, you know what I'm saying? So I'm embracing it. Cool, so I want to give you a quick rundown ahead of this. This is going to be kind of a 4-part, 4 chapters to this little lesson. So the first thing I want to say is this. Then the second thing is I want to give a bit of sort of a primer, or maybe not disclaimers, but a bit of what you can expect, how you can use, a bit of an explainer on what I'm going to show you, how you can use it, where it's relevant, the downsides, the upsides, etc. Then I'm going to show you 3 different ways to use Squarespace and or Shopify to do some checkout funnel-esque things. So the first one will be an entire Squarespace build. The second will be a Squarespace build using Shopify checkout links. And the third will be a Squarespace page using Shopify buy buttons. These are all really different experiences. And as long as you have a Squarespace and potentially a Shopify, at least one of these will apply to you in a way that you can implement like tonight, which is awesome. So let me also say, in between each of those chapters I just outlined, I will be stopping to check comments. I will say I won't really dwell a lot on the comments. This is meant to kind of be a straight ahead lesson, so I'm not gonna be able to kind of derail the lesson plan too much. But if there's anything pertinent, I will stop in between just to make sure people aren't losing, their chance to ask something. So with that all being said, let me switch over to my screen share here where you can see my Squarespace. So let me start actually with this disclaimer thing. So I want to say in a lot of our trainings, a lot of older trainings, we've talked a lot about ClickFunnels, for example, as an option for making some funnel-based checkout processes and product pages and things like that. That approach is really great. It can be super effective at unlocking those additional sales and upping average order value, right? However, it's that kind of functionality doesn't often come out of the box in most website builders. Usually, that kind of website builder, like a ClickFunnels, it's more of a specific thing, right? Where it's conversion focused. It's meant to be kind of sequential, page by page. It's not meant to be this big, flowy, beautiful, sprawling, website where you can dig into all this content. But there's some pretty simple ways to make a website like Squarespace work in that way. And so what I just want to say there is that this approach isn't like the end-all be-all, the only way to sell things, right? That's the first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say is that the most important thing to think about ahead of an offer or selling is the nature of your audience. So if your audience is raring to go, you've nurtured them forever, you got a new album coming out, I wouldn't dwell on the functionality that I'm about to show you as being like the thing that will make them buy. Most of what we want to do is get them to the sales page knowing whatever the UI is, whatever the user experience is, no matter how this page is set up, these pages are set up, they're intending to buy, they're going to do it. And unless it's just detrimental and they run into an issue where they can't check out, then maybe they won't check out. But I just want to put forth, I'm going to show these different versions, right, of checkout funnels. And I don't want you to think like, oh, I don't have a Shopify, so if I need to get a Shopify in order to do that specific example, because that example is the one that's going to be the one that makes me the most sales. Most of the time, if you have a rabid audience that's ready to buy, and your store and your checkout funnel is good, it works, and it's not prohibitive, you should be fine. So I do want to emphasize that at the top. Any number of these examples may be great for you. I wouldn't think that you're necessarily leaving money on the table because you don't have the Shopify, so you can't do option 3 or something like that. So I just want to make that clear. So that is my preamble. Let's get into example 1 here. So example 1 is using entirely a Squarespace store to do some checkout funnel-esque things. So in all these examples, I will be using a core product, which is a CD, an order bump, which is an older CD of mine, and then an OTO, a one-time offer, which is a t-shirt. So the first thing I did there was I created a shop page in my Squarespace, and that is this thing right here. If I click into it, we will be able to see what I've made. So we can see this is a very simple shop page. I'm not really using this as a storefront. I'm just using this to hold my products. And you'll need to do that before we get into this example. So if you intend to use Squarespace e-com, what you'll first need to do is go to your pages on the left here. Click the plus button either in the not linked section or the primary nav, and create a products collection. If I do that here, yes, create a products collection, and that it will look like this. And in here, I can create products. So I can click the plus button here. I can create a physical product, digital, service, etc. And you fill out some basic details, very, very easy to understand. And they will show up in here at the pricing that you set. So my products are in there. I just want to make that clear. I did load these products into a shop collection on Squarespace ahead of doing this. So then what I did was I created my sales page, which is my first step in the kind of checkout funnel here. Let me also say, these pages I built, they're not fancy. They're not gorgeous. I whipped them up for the sake of showing you how it works. Yours can be absolutely pristine, perfect dimensions, perfect layout. And with Squarespace, you can really do that. So don't think it has to look like this, or if it has to look as clunky as this does. I just whipped up these examples to show you the functionality. So this is kind of the first page. This is the sales page. So I say here, the newest record is here. Thanks for stopping by. My new record just came out, and I'm happy to unveil it to you for a special price before it goes public. Then I put what we call some lorem ipsum in here. This is just dummy copy to fill the space, right? So you can see how you can maybe explain some more stuff here, give some more sales context, and then we have an add to cart button. Now, what this is, if I click edit on this page, this is a product element. So if you're not familiar with Squarespace, all over the page there are these little teardrop-esque things that show up. These allow you to place elements. You can place text, images, video, and one thing that we can do here is place a product. So if I click here, we can see that the options show up, and I can choose product, which I believe is down here in commerce. And if I click product, it will open up a little element, and I can search in here in this little editor my products from my shop collection. And we can see I search good, and my Good Weird CD pops up. There's also options here for showing image, showing title, showing price, etc. That is how I created this one right here. I chose to show the price, not the title, because I'm doing some explanation here. And that's that. So this actually feeds into my Squarespace ecom with a little add to cart button there. If I click add to cart on this, it will add it to the cart in my Squarespace as a user. And then when I'm ready, I can check out. Now, obviously, I don't want to just put a bunch of add cart buttons on a page and then have them click around and then on their own volition, click that little cart icon in the corner, right? We're wanting it to be more sequential. We're wanting to guide them through the experience and say, hey, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want that? Right? So what I did was I hid the navigation. I hid the header up here and the footer. If you can keep, the header or the footer if you need, or one or the other. And I'm in the settings of the page here. You can see in advanced, I have a little bit of code here to get rid of the header and the footer. That will be different based on your template. You will have to Google around, maybe go through some forums to figure out which snippet of code works for you. Play around, I'm sure you'll find it. But this is the one for me in the brine template. And so I've removed the header, right? So what this leaves us with is an add to cart button. All they can do is add to cart or leave, click back or exit out of the page. They can't get distracted by the header up here, which is not there. They can't click around in the menu. They can't go to the cart prematurely. I wiped that all off, right? So this page allows us to have add to cart buttons where their only method of continuing is this checkout button. So let me explain what's going on here. We have the core product up here, and they can click add to cart. If I click add to cart, you'll see there's a little, I think I gotta do this. All right, let's open it natively in that case. New page 3. All right, so if I click add to cart on this, you'll see a little animation. It says adding, added. And now the only thing I can do is scroll down, right? So there's nowhere else to go. I don't know how to check out. I added it to cart. It said added. And down here, I have a little order bump here. It says, and before you check out, do you want to also add my first CD on for just $5? Then you'll have the whole discography. What do you say? Another add to cart button. So let's say I want to add it. We'll click that. Adding, added. Only thing left to do is hit checkout. So let's hit checkout and see what happens. We couldn't find the page we're looking for. Okay, so where this was supposed to go, and I may edit this real quick, SSOTO page 2. Let's do that real quick. Well, this is a good lesson because you can see. So I need this to go to a second page. There we go. Just need to put a 2 at the end there. Apply. Okay. So when checkout is clicked, I have that button linking to a second page that I created that looks like this. And it says, just because I like you, do you want to add the brand new shirt design to your order for 20% off? This brand new shirt is mega soft and the colors really pop. I only ask that you don't tell anyone else. I'm favoring you with this deal. Keep those lips sealed. Again, another add to cart button, and they can click proceed to checkout. So you might want to put some verbiage on here that says, you can proceed to checkout with or without adding the shirt, for example. You can make that user experience however you need to. But in my case, I just have add to cart or proceed to checkout. They can click proceed to checkout without adding the shirt, and it will take them to their cart. So let's try this again. Let's click back. I've already added these 2 to cart, so I'm going to trust that. I'm going to click checkout. Ugh, all right. Come on. Come on. Maybe I didn't save it. This needs to be OTO2. Oh, I see now. This is the one. I believe. Apply. Save. And let's go back here. Click it one more time. All right. I don't know what's going on. It's stuck on there. Anyway, the point being, it will take us to this page. I believe that'll do it. Okay. And now both CDs are in our cart. Let's add this to cart. Now, what I have on this button is a link to basicprinter.com/cart. So I can't verify this for sure if that's the case for every Squarespace ecom template. But what I found that for my template, if I put \cart, it'll take me to my cart however full or empty it is. So if I click this, it'll take us to my cart, and we can see that my items are in there. So what this means is that we can build sequential pages that allow the user to guide kind of the product, collection, the product choices process, right? It guides them to say, like, consider this, now consider that, do you want this, etc. And you can kind of hide these products elsewhere so that they only show up through these pages, for example. And then when you click cart, it'll show them everything they've added. This can kind of act as a checkout review, like an order review process. Obviously, at this point, this is kind of where we have a downside. It will show our menu. I wasn't able to find out how to hide this from a cart link. I don't think that's possible with ease. But again, if your audience is primed for it, again, that's not something to worry about. You may lose some conversions, but if it's a new album, it's like a perfect offer and the people are ready for it. This is not going to be the thing that gets them to not check out, right? So there's a little bit more transparency too. It's like, here's everything you added. You have a chance to up the quantity, and then they can check out. So then if we check out, it'll take us to the checkout situation where it'll be kind of a normal process from there. So that's how you can use just Squarespace to guide people through a sales funnel, which is awesome. So I'm going to take a second now to see if we have any pertinent burning questions here. Greg Freeman says, does Squarespace cost major money? No. The plan I'm on is $18 a month, for example. Very much doable. And if you combine that with Shopify, which I'm about to show you, which is $29 a month, that's still, less than $50 a month. ClickFunnels was $97 a month. And the combined functionality of Squarespace and Shopify is, in my opinion, a lot vaster. Well, looks like we don't have anything too crazy in the comments. So let me show you example 2 now. So example 2 is using a combination of Squarespace and Shopify checkout links. So the first thing I want to do is hop over to Shopify and show you kind of what I'm talking about. So in Shopify, if we're in our products, obviously, well, let me show you my general Shopify. If we go over to my store sub URL, this is my general Shopify. This is like, you can search through the music I'm selling, the different shirts. I have a toys section, for example. So this is, the conventional e-com experience. This is how you can, Shopify is often used this way to just build your storefront, send people to that URL and let them shop around, right? Now, it's great to have this, and I use this all the time. It's an evergreen asset. People are always poking their head in and out of this store. That's what it's for. However, you can do some crazy stuff with Shopify that allow you to embed products on other pages and allow you to still use Shopify's, inventory tracking, pixel tracking, deals, coupon codes, all this stuff. So you can actually take some products out of Shopify, embed them on Squarespace, for example. And when they're purchased through Squarespace, it actually attributes all in your Shopify, and that can all be consolidated. So you can kind of use Squarespace as a page builder with Shopify as the tech behind the payment processing and the inventory and everything. So I want to show you 2 ways to do that. The first thing I want to show you is that there are some really interesting functions within products of Shopify that allow you to do this. So I've clicked into, you saw my products collection. I clicked into 3 different products here. Again, we have my main CD, my older CD, and my shirt as the OTO. In this core product, for example, anytime I open up a product, I can click this More Actions dropdown, and it gives me these 2 options: embed on a website and create checkout link. A checkout link is it's a link that when clicked, it opens up a checkout funnel from Shopify with the product already in there. So that's really great, right? Like I can send this link, for example, like let's create this checkout link, and I will copy it, I will paste it here, and we'll go to it, and I'll show you what happens. So it takes me right to the cart with the CD in here already, and then I can just finish checking out. So that's super handy. Now, what's really cool is that I can take this link and I can do a little bit of hackish kind of stuff, right? So I can go to this other CD and create a checkout link for that. And now this link here, there's an identifier in here. It's this number with the :1 at the other side of it. I can copy this and I can put it into my other link. So I'm going up here where I copied my link to my core CD, and it'll be a little hard to see, but right before the question mark in this link, I can put a comma and then paste that second identifier that I pulled from the other CD's checkout link. And when I click enter, this will take me to a cart with both CDs in the cart. So you can create checkout links with multiple bundles of things in there, and you can have automatic discounts set up in Shopify that read like when these 4 items are in the cart, trigger this discount, and you can consolidate that into a link, for example. And that's just an offhanded, way of how you can use these links. So you can use a combination of these pre-prepared checkout links to embed on your Shopify or to embed on your Squarespace to create some really, again, sequential page-based funnels. So let me show you exactly what I did. We have example 2 here. Again, a similar sales page, and this one has a different kind of functionality. It says the newest record is here. Again, the same copy, lorem ipsum, and there's nothing to do but scroll down, right? And again, your design for this may be totally different. There's tons of ways to do this, but this kind of made the most sense for me to explain how this works. So they can only scroll down. Navigation is not there. Removed it with that code snippet again. And down here it says, just because I love you, do you want to add the second record as well? And then there's 2 buttons. It says Good Weird Only or Good Weird plus the EP. So if they click Good Weird Only, it's going to take them to a certain page. And if they click Good Weird plus the EP, it's going to take them to a different page. So let me show you what those 2 pages would be. If I click Good Weird Only, it'll take me to this page. It says, and one more thing, do you want to add the brand new shirt for 20% off? And then I have different size buttons. It says select your size to begin checkout, or no thanks, I just want Good Weird. So this is where it gets a little confusing, so I want to be clear. What I explained at the top of this, how we can take checkout links and combine them with multiple products, right? I know that if they landed on this page, they came from the button that said, I just want Good Weird. I just want that one CD. So now I created 6 buttons here. I created, in each of these buttons, I have a checkout link with the size of that shirt as an ID plus Good Weird. So if I click small here, it'll open up the cart with the shirt, the small shirt and the CD in there, right? If I click back and I click no thanks, I just want Good Weird, I stuck a checkout link on that with just Good Weird in it. It'll open up and just show that Good Weird CD. So again, we're able to funnel down the offerings and follow people's decisions that leads them to a cart that has exactly what they wanted in it. So that is if I click Good Weird Only. So let's go back and let me show you what happens if we choose something else. Okay, so let's start on the sales page again. Let's say I scrolled through and I said, you know what, I really do want this older CD as well. I'll click Good Weird plus the EP. This will take me to another link that is different, but looks exactly like that other page. The difference here is that these buttons now have different links, checkout links on them that also include that additional CD that I said I wanted. So now if I click small and I say, I want this small shirt, click small, it'll open up a cart with both CDs and a small shirt in there. So you can see how that works. And if I click, no thanks, I just want the CDs, it'll open a checkout link with just the CDs in there. So this way of doing things is a little bit more tedious because you do have to create a lot of checkout links that you have to really be on top of, right? I didn't create links for all 5 of these for the sake of time, but when it comes to shirt variations, for example, you do need to create different checkout links. So let me show you here, for example, with the shirts. If I'm on the shirt and I click create checkout link, it will ask me, which size to make the link for. So I can't have a dynamic shirt kind of choosing option on this kind of funnel. But if I make those 5 different links, including or not including the upsells they took prior to landing on this page, I can break it out into different buttons like this and just have them select, which this is very similar to ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels has you do the same thing. So from that perspective, it's about as good as ClickFunnels, at least in this user experience situation. So I think that's super cool. And again, they land on this OTO page. You take into account what they've clicked or not clicked on the prior pages or the prior page. And you create checkout links to line up with all of their decision making up to this moment. So that is how you use checkout links with Shopify embedded on your Squarespace. Now there is obviously one more example that I have. So before I show you that, I will do a quick break to check out the comments here, if there are any. Katie says, oh, wow, this is happening now. I'm here. It sure is happening now, but it will be available for your reference if you're an Indie Pro member whenever you want. So don't worry about it. Jan says, hey, can I use a Shopify checkout link on your Wix site? Absolutely. That's the beauty of this particular example, right? When we're heading over to these, when we're creating these checkout links in Shopify, it's just a hyperlink, right? That's the beauty of it. You can stick it on anywhere that's linkable. You can stick it. You can put it on your Wix and put it in a button. You can put it on just a clickable link. You can embed it into text, like clickable text. I mean, the checkout links allow you to do it on any website builder. I'm just using Squarespace in this case, which is fantastic. I think that's all I'm seeing so far. Marvin says, will this work on Shopify Lite? You know, I really don't know, but I would, if I was a betting man, I would say absolutely. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. Let's see, compare plans. Well, Shopify Lite, I actually don't know what that means because there's basic Shopify, Shopify, and advanced Shopify. I use basic Shopify. I use the lowest level Shopify. So, and I just did it. You just watched me do it. So that does work for basic Shopify. I'm not sure what Shopify Lite is. Let's see, Shopify Lite. Right, okay, Marvin. This is actually what's really amazing about everything I'm showing you is that it does work for Shopify Lite. Shopify Lite is the version of Shopify where it's just buy buttons. So everything I'm showing you is basically a Shopify Lite version of using Shopify. Like everything I'm showing you doesn't use anything past the functionality of Shopify Lite, which is just $9.99. So that's, I mean, another huge point. Yeah, the $9 a month version. That's another huge point of this. We're taking all the functionality of Shopify that's available in that super, super reduced version, the $9 a month. You can still use all the inventory. You can still use all the tracking, the SKU system, the pixel fires. But it doesn't include a storefront, right? Which that's the whole point of what I'm showing you. We're taking that off of the storefront and using it on our website builder. So unless I would say this is unverified, but as long as you can use buy buttons and checkout links with Shopify Lite, which I think that's like the main feature of Shopify Lite. Like they're saying this is all you can do is use the links and the buy buttons. You should be good. Katie Thompson, I did do a Squarespace commerce example. It was the first thing I did on this video. So when it publishes, scroll back and check that out. I definitely did do that. Cool. Amazing. So yes, it works for Shopify Lite. Now, let me show you my last example. My last example is using Shopify buy buttons. So again, with Shopify, we created those checkout links, right? I was sticking those links on my Squarespace by way of buttons. Another function of Shopify is what they call buy buttons. And this is so cool. I've been having such weird success with this lately. It's super interesting. So I can hop over to Shopify. Again, any of these products of mine. And if I'm looking at a product in the edit window, I can click more actions and click embed on a website. And this will take me to buy button function of Shopify, which is a sales channel. Now again, Shopify Lite, like Marvin was saying, I'm pretty sure it doesn't include an online store here. That's kind of why it's reduced, but it should include the buy button sales channel, which is all we need to do anything I'm showing you. So what the buy button does is it gives us a little snippet of code that we can embed on Squarespace or your website builder, and it will feed in kind of a little product element as if it were like a store on Shopify. So it'll show you the image that it pulls from Shopify. It'll show you the current price. It'll show you like the discounted price if you did that. It'll show you the variants and offer a selector. It's really cool. And then I'll kind of do the reveal, but the way that it's used is really clean and really awesome. So let me just kind of walk through what's going on here, and then I'll show you how it works. So I want a different view of this here. Back to product. Yeah, embed on a website. And then layout style, classic. When people click add to cart, I can also go direct to checkout. So this is a quicker way to use the checkout links if you want, or open product details. So I'm going to say add to cart, and it spits out this code right here. I'm going to copy this code. And then if I hop over to Shopify, or if I hop over to Squarespace, and I'll show you kind of this in live action, and I edit this page. Let me add an item down here. I'm going to add a code block in Squarespace. That's about halfway down. I click code. The code block just takes code that you can, that's pre-written. You can plug it right in there, and the block will display whatever CSS, HTML, JavaScript you put in there. So I'm taking that little piece of code from Shopify, putting it into this code block in Squarespace, and hitting apply. And it's going to not show up right on site there. I have to refresh, and this is going to look a little weird when I refresh because I just stuck it at the bottom of the page without thinking about it. But if I click refresh, we can see what that code looked like. So at the bottom here is where I stuck it. You can see that pulled in my product right there, the Good Weird CD. It shows the price tag, $10 marked down from $15, and says add to cart. Now, that's super cool, right? If I go into Shopify and I change the title of this product, it will update automatically on Squarespace because it's just pulling a live feed through that code. If I change the price, it will reflect here. If I change the images, it will reflect here. So that is fantastic. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that code block just to clean this up and continue showing off what I mean here. But you can do more with this. You can do a lot of editing. If I click into my buy button sales channel, it'll give me this prompt. I'll click create buy button, and then I can really customize it down a lot. Product buy button. I can also embed collections. I can feed an entire, all my shirts. I can put one code block in there and it'll feed in all my shirts. But let's pick product, and let's again pick my Good Weird CD, select. And it'll show me right here what it looks like. And I can, on this left panel, I can customize it. I can pick a full view here. It'll open it up a lot bigger. It'll give me the product images here that I can pick. If I change it to classic, it's a lot cleaner. I honestly like this a bit more. If I click button style, I can make it wider. I can do all this stuff. I can change the color of anything. If I go into layout, I can turn off showing the additional product images here or not, which is it's just so clean. Really, I could change the image size. There's all sorts of stuff. So you can make this look however you need to, and then put it on your Squarespace and actually kind of build like a little storefront in Squarespace that all connects through to Shopify. It's brilliant. So the Shopify Lite, the $9 a month, it gives you access to this, and just if it's stuck onto your Squarespace, it's cheap. It's $28 a month for a fully customizable storefront, so long as you know what you're doing and you don't mind kind of taking the time to get it look right and work great. So I can customize in here to my liking, click next, grab that code, and again, embed it in a Squarespace code element like I was showing off. So I won't sit here and do that all over again, but you can take my word for it that this sales page, this third option, it has 3 of these products embedded on this page. So I have 3 different buy button snippets in here. And this sales page is a lot different than the other ones because this isn't going to guide me sequentially through the offer structure, right? This is kind of just a rolling sort of sales page where people can add things or remove things and just check out when they're ready. It's a lot different of an experience. And what I'll say is I've had success using this format on both relatively cold audiences and like my hottest segment of audience. I just went through an album launch, or not an album launch, but an album pre-order, and I kind of stylized it like this. I guess I can actually show you that. Also, I hope I'm getting a little paranoid that I haven't been sharing my screen this whole time. So I'm going to check on that real quick. I think we're all good. Okay. So this is my pre-order page. And again, this is just composed of buy buttons. This is an embedded buy button. All sorts of details I wrote. Scroll down, another buy button, etc. And I sent my hottest segment to this, and they had a ball. They added so many things to cart. It had no problem using it. So you can use it in a legitimate sense. And I've run stuff like this, like free plus shipping and handling, to warmer audiences, but not my hot segment, not the people that are like ready to go. And they, they were okay with the friction being like, it being less direct and them being able to kind of wander around in here and click around. So it can work, is my point, at least in my experience. I wouldn't be afraid of doing something like this. It may work for you, and it's something to test around. But the coolest thing about this is that these buy buttons, when I click add to cart, it opens up a little side cart on the right side here, and I want to make sure my head's not in the way. Yeah. Ooh, sorry about that. I need to click. Can't move there we go. One moment. I don't know why this isn't working for me. Oh boy. You're really seeing behind the veil. The magic has been broken, everyone, hasn't it? All right. On this side cart here on the right, it opens up a little drawer cart. And if I click X, it'll put it away, and then it converts to this tab. I click that, it'll open up. It's like incredible. So this cart can open up, and I can just peruse. It says, and one more thing, do you want the other CD? And I can throw that in the mix. It'll show up in my cart. And I scroll down. As I scroll down, it reveals more offerings. Maybe I want a shirt too. The great thing about the buy button is that the selector for sizes is embedded right here. I want to make sure my head's not in the way of that either. No, cool. So you can see how you have like a little mini storefront experience that you can build so easy. You just take those code snippets, throw them in a code block, and move the blocks around. It's like too easy. And so if, like, for example, you might not even need 3 upsells here. You might just want to send people like, hey, I'm sending, this record is discounted now, and if you want the other record, these are my 2 offerings. It focuses it down. Obviously, the experience is a little bit more ethereal. It's not the word. It's a little bit more leisurely. It's less like convert now, but it does focus it down, right? If there's 2 or 3 buttons of like, this is what you can do. You can add stuff to cart. I found that for some of my people, they prefer this rather than like getting thrown into this like really, really intense checkout funnel. They almost appreciate like, oh, I can check stuff out. I can take my time. I can kind of debate things and then check out when they're ready. And again, it comes down to audience in the end. So I don't want you to think that this or example 2 or example 1, one is better than the other, I guess. Now let's assume I take everything into cart. Let's pick the small. I know that the small fits me. Add to cart. We can see that all in here, which is awesome. They can add notes on the order right there. I love this cart. And if I click checkout, it'll open up in a different tab. The checkout functionality, I can do PayPal. I can do anything here. It's just I can enter discount codes. If you want, you can put discount codes on that sales page and let them know, like, use that during checkout, and that can be part of the promotion. It's super dynamic, so clean, it's cheap, it's just like, it feels great, looks great, and there's 3 ways to use it, 2 ways to use the Shopify, but the Squarespace is kind of a similar situation as well. So I'm going to hop to the comments after all that and see what's going on. Katie has a question. JT has a question. Okay. Katie says, this question is coming. Which way do I think this is the best to do and why? Or do I feel they're all relatively the same? There's definitely not the best one to do, or not one best choice. Again, I kind of touched on this. I ran a pre-order campaign to my hot audience of just 400 people or something, like former customers and like high intent people. And the vast majority, they bought up a storm using just the buy buttons with the side cart, and there's something to that being paired with that campaign well, right? It's like my campaign was saying, hey, I'm taking pre-orders for 2 weeks and you get free reign on this page. You are my biggest fans. You're the 400 people that matter. You're going to get this page before anyone else for 2 weeks. So I'm pairing the experience of this page with saying, like, you have time to shop, to think about this, to mess around. That's kind of, a related experience. Now, if I were running like traffic and on ads to my Greenlight Warmth audience, and it was kind of like free plus shipping and handling, like this is only going to happen for a week, and like there's only 100, so like you got to do this. I might want to get them into a more focused, like funnel-based thing, like option 2, where I'm saying, all right, like here's a CD, do you want it? Yes. Okay. Do you want this other CD? Yes. Okay. Do you want the shirt? Yes. All right, you're good. So you got to think about what's, your audience and the nature of the offer and how you're delivering that offer to them, is what I'll say. But I've also had success sending that kind of leisurely buy button layout to, again, a relatively colder audience. And I was like, hey, I'm doing this thing, check it out. And people will dug it, So you can do what feels good to you. You can test things against each other and see what results in more revenue. And And I think that's the vibe there. We have a question from JT. I'm going to take a sip first. He says, I use WordPress / WooCommerce. You suspect you can create the same thing here, but it seems Shopify is so much easier. Is there a benefit to having both stores and using Shopify for this type of page? I would say that as much as you can consolidate your commerce, the better, because your customer tracking, your inventory tracking, your LTV tracking, lifetime value of customers, having that consolidated down is really important. Because, for example, if you graduate to a more robust autoresponder like Drip, let's say, Drip can just automatically read Shopify and always, feed all of that info into your autoresponder efforts. And Drip, for that matter, probably can also take Shopify and WooCommerce and be able to do that. So what I'll say is that if you're running Shopify to access this embeddable situation, just make sure that you're prepared to dynamically read multiple storefronts and get those into your custom audiences as efficiently as you can in Facebook, get them into your inventory tracking and your ship station, get them into your autoresponder. If you have fulfillment and an autoresponder that can afford multiple storefronts and really organize everything down, then sure. I would say for the average indie, you'll probably just want to stick with one option as much as you can, because I just faced this. I used ClickFunnels for so long, and now I'm kind of all Shopify, and I had to go through the nightmare of parsing through all of my ClickFunnels data to re-import into Shopify so that my customer list was clean and historically accurate, for example. So you want to avoid that as much as possible and start as clean as you can. But what I'll say is if you stick with WooCommerce, I suspect that you would be able to do option 1 that I showed you in an equivalent manner. In option 1, I was showing off Squarespace add to cart buttons, basically, and it was just rolling the cart along. You can probably do the same thing in WooCommerce, I would think. I don't mess much in WordPress, so that is what I'll say there. Brennan says, sick tree. Thank you. Every entrepreneur office has this tree with the lights in it, which, hold on. Let me turn these lights on. There we go. All right, Katie says, what Squarespace plan am I on? If I were to go Shopify Lite with Squarespace, would you drop the Squarespace Commerce? I am on Squarespace. What is it called? I am on the $18 a month plan, Katie, and I'm pretty sure the new plans all include e-commerce, but you pay less or more based on how it gets used, I believe. But I'm looking at the pricing right now, and we can discover this together. So, because if that's the case, yeah, fully integrated e-commerce. There's something about this business plan that I went with. But it looks like personal doesn't have e-commerce, doesn't have fully integrated e-commerce, for example, which I don't need. So I may actually downgrade, but I don't know. Yeah, so what we're learning here, people, is that if you have a $12 a month personal Squarespace plan and a $9 a month Shopify Lite plan, you can do everything I just did for $21 a month. Seems crazy. So that is what I'll say. There is something about this business plan that was vital for me, I believe. I don't entirely remember. I think it had a function I really needed something about, I think, you know what the trouble was? I think they locked pixel tracking behind this business plan. instead of the personal, which sucks. Don't quote me on it, but yeah, premium integrations and blocks. That's the trick right there. That's not available in personal. Very annoying. So yeah, it was like a Zapier integration and other stuff. So whatever. Point being, one of those, I mean, the pixel tracking should be available. I think you could get away with the personal is my final answer. Let's see what else is going on. Because I do have, just 9 more minutes here. Yeah, Katie, again, I don't know. The personal might be okay. I think there's limitations that you'll run into. And at that, if you do run into them, it's $6 more. I mean, whatever. You know what I mean? There was something about it that made me be like, I need the $18 a month. But nonetheless. YouTube comments. Anything else here? King Cardinal. How is the transfer from ClickFunnels to Squarespace? Also, Corinne's been all about ThriveCart. Thoughts? ThriveCart's great. It's a lot different. ThriveCart in this situation, you would have a button. You would kind of do what I did with option 2, except you'd replace all of those with a ThriveCart link, and it's great. ThriveCart's great. What Shopify plan should you be on to make these links? Shopify Lite or Shopify Basic is all you need. No, I didn't. Well, no, King Cardinal, you said you're late to the party, so you apologize if I've touched on transferring from ClickFunnels to Squarespace. Yeah, transferring from ClickFunnels to Squarespace, this is essentially what I'm showing you here, is essentially my solution. This is pretty much how I am able to still do ClickFunnels-esque things on Squarespace. So what you're seeing is evidence of my transfer from ClickFunnels to Squarespace. It was very easy, is what I'll say. What wasn't easy was grabbing my ClickFunnels data and parsing it and cleaning it up to be uploaded into Shopify so that my CRM, my customer list, was historically complete. So that is something you'll face with ClickFunnels is, getting your customer data out of there and into your new system, which is important. I think that we are good here. I definitely suitably walked through all 3 options, and you all had some good questions. I hope that you are all pumped about using Squarespace. You didn't know you could do it, right? You didn't know you had it in it. So yeah, if you have Squarespace already, and if you have Shopify, or you were considering either of these, do know that you can do some pretty focused down checkout stuff in it. If you just if you're not afraid to make multiple pages and really keep track of your links and create kind of an experience through them. Pretty customizable as well. I mean, there's plenty of benefits. So I'm probably going to just sign off here. Looks like we're all tied up. Everyone is happy. And I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. It was very fun to whip up for you all. I will be seeing you throughout the community. And I hope that you all crush it. I will be seeing you around. Have a great night, day, rest of the week, and weekend for that matter. Goodbye.